All right. So we'll play some music and get started.
Okay.
Hello and welcome to Morning Fuel. I'm your host, John Bundy, and you are here because you believe in the power of the spoken word and its ability to change lives, and that by sharing our stories, we can help others overcome challenges that they cannot overcome on their own. Whether it's a victory you need to win in business or in your own personal life, you understand that the answers can be found in listening to stories by people who are willing to share their stories, knowing that their stories ultimately don't belong to them. All right, today's guest, a warrior of personal growth and development, and understands self-awareness is essential to elevate and transform into the person we are called to be. She believes even if we are unprepared for a life encounter, we have to be consciously equipped to handle whatever comes our way. She experienced a major identity shift upon becoming a mother at 20 years old, which intensified as she combated the stigma of being an unmarried mother. She desires for mothers, especially single mothers, to balance the expectations and demands of motherhood with the power and resilience of being a woman. She is committed to creating a platform to be a resource and advocate for single mothers through a diverse network of sisterhood. She feels experience is a building block for wisdom, an opportunity to display God's glory. Each motherhood journey is unique, but the assignment is the same. Circumstance does not have the power to write your story. It can't hear your heart. She acknowledges her why is to inspire, educate, encourage, and empower women to see past the right now. Please help me in welcoming the founder and president of Women of 4D, Kadetra Cooper.
Hello.
Kadetra, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for extending the invitation.
You're very welcome. I appreciate that this invitation came a while back, and we're finally getting to it. I had some stuff we had to get sorted out, but we got it straight, and wonderful to have you on our last episode of the season. So we're finishing up. We're finishing up strong.
All right. There's a season for everything.
Oh,
so
yes, there is.
I love it.
Everything under the sun. That is correct.
Yes.
I appreciate reading about part of your story here, understanding that our favorite thing here, one of my favorite things, I love superheroes. I say this time and time again. I believe that each one of us has gifts and powers that have been given to us, and each one of us has an origin story. So if you don't mind explaining to us a little bit of your origin story, and then what was the spark for Women of 4D?
Yes. Well, in my intro, you kind of spoke to it a little bit as well. So I became a mother a lot earlier than I had anticipated. God's surprise.
Right.
I think if it was time for me to plan a family, I would probably be starting now in my mid-40s. But my daughter is 24 years old.
Wow.
As of right now. And she'll be 25 in August. And I have a 17-year-old son as well. Like I said, very timely because it's very interesting because this part of my motherhood journey literally ended Saturday because my son graduated from high school.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
That's interesting. My oldest daughter is 25, and my youngest, who you just met, Kimberly, is 18, so she's getting ready to graduate too. So.
Exactly. So it's like those 7 years, it's very interesting because you kind of see even the difference in your parenting.
Sure.
So, it's like I said earlier, as being a younger mother, I feel like I grew up with my daughter.
Sure.
I shielded her from a lot of things,
Right.
but it made me into the woman that I am today. So my daughter's conception actually came on the heels of my brother's unexpected death.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He was playing basketball and he collapsed on the basketball court, and we found out he had hypertrophic cardiomyopathy.
Wow.
So, of course, that was an extreme blow to my family. Sure. And he was in his senior year of high school. So literally a month, pretty much to the date that he passed away, I became pregnant with my daughter. And I really feel like my daughter helped my parents in their healing process. I always joke now and say, like, she goes to them before she comes to me. So they became her fourth child. She became their fourth child. or whatever, which, I love. But it's just that piece of having to figure something out that you didn't think that, you would have to figure out. So I'm the oldest child. So now I also have, lost a sibling, and I'm preparing to be a mother, and I'm also in my junior year of college. So I am so grateful for the support that I've always had in my family. My parents have been very hands-on with assisting me with both of my children. Early on, when my daughter's other side of the family lived in Virginia, they were very instrumental in assisting me with her as well. So I was able to finish college. I even went on to grad school as well. So, and I know a lot of women do not have that support system to be able to do those things and finish them in a timely manner to be able to,
Well, you mentioned something powerful earlier, and that is you realized that you were growing up as your child was growing up, and you're 20 with your first child. We were a little bit older than that, my wife and I, but we realized that we did a lot of growing up. We're still growing up, and so especially with our first child, who is sort of the guinea pig, right?
Right.
All the mistakes are made on that child. So when the second one comes around, they seem to be they grow up a little faster, only because you've been doing some growing up too.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think we see things from a different lens as well. Because my daughter, she'll make comments about the way that I raised my son. Versus the way that I raised her. Yeah. Like, hey, he can get away with blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I just see it in a different light,
Sure.
As of now. But when my children were about, I think my daughter was maybe in the 9th grade or so, something like that. And my son was maybe in 2nd grade or so, I got married.
Okay.
So now, I'm not a single mom anymore. However, I never let go of that mentality.
Sure.
I think, which was very, I think it can
you
be very strange.
You got to see it from both sides.
Yes.
You understand. You can speak to a single mom and say, I know how you feel.
Yes.
And you're 100% right, truth speaking. So that's wonderful.
Yeah.
I got to watch my youngest sister, who had a child when she was 18 and not married, and go through that, and now see, the woman, not only married woman with another, child now older, but to see how it was in the house when she was still living with my parents. My parents were caregivers as well, and like that. So
Yeah.
So the idea for Women of 4D came out of this experience, but later on, when did that happen?
Well, and then I had another shift because I got divorced.
Oh, okay.
Or whatever. So now here I go. Now I have a 13-year-old son. You know what I mean? My daughter is off at college. She's finishing up. And, okay, I'm a single mom again. Wow. So it was always.
You got to experience the gamut.
Yes.
Really.
That's my whole life. I do it all. So what came to me is I was having conversations with actually 2 of my friends who are 2 of the other founding board members. And I completely I talked about it, just, girl chat conversation about starting a scholarship.
Like an idea.
Yeah. And then I stopped. And then literally, I'm going to say it was a 2-day period between the conversations. They didn't even know each other. And they were like, hey, most of my friends call me D. So they're like, D, what's going on with, the scholarship program that you were thinking about starting for single moms? Both of them have also been single mothers as well. So I was like, well, I got to pay for Kayla's tuition. I was divorced at this point. So I'm like, I'm sending my own child to school and blah, blah, blah. And they were just like, okay. And it was something I had just always talked about. So anyway, we all got together. I also got my cousin involved, who she too had raised her 3 children after divorce, and then she is remarried as well. The 4 of us came together as a team.
I'm starting to hear something here. Is that 4D?
Actually, no, but that is good,
All right,
though.
I'm trying
That
to
is
guess.
good. That is good.
I'm like, what does it mean? What does it mean? You'll get to it.
That is good, yes. So we all came together in 2019 and was like, hey, we are going to, turn this vision into reality. A year later, We literally formalized everything, and Women of 4D was birthed. The D stand for determined, devoted, disciplined, and oh my goodness, deliberate.
I love it.
So,
Now I know what 4D is.
yes.
Okay.
And when you go on the website, there are definitions for all of those Ds and what they mean. And every woman just holds true to, if not one, all of those.
Sure.
Because like I said, even when you were talking about my intro, we all have the same assignment.
Sure.
Like we just want to be able to, bring these children to be productive adults in society, to give back, to build their character. Right. One thing I always say is fruit does not lie. So everything that you are depositing into those kids, you are literally, you're going to see it. Even if you don't see it at home, because I run into that sometimes where I'm just like, these kids,
right.
You know what I mean?
It's hard to see when you're in the weeds, right?
Yes.
When you got so much going on.
But then when you go out and like even at my son's graduation recently, they were just, individuals were just coming to me, literally telling me the type of young man that, that I have sowed seed into.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it was just one of those things where it's like, even if I can't see it, you know what I mean? It's being seen.
Sure.
And that's when I just know just the power of God. Like my prayers are always, prevalent, whether it's, in my children, in, various things that we do around the community. It's just doing what you need to do.
And when you're in a community too, and I hear this, God fills in the blanks.
Yeah.
So things that you are maybe lacking in, whether it's wisdom, understanding, knowledge, lessons. I've never experienced this before. You have people around you that are like, "Oh, I got you."
Yes.
So that's phenomenal.
Yes.
So
yes.
when was this? When did Women of 4D become Women of 4D? When was that again?
Legally, October 29th, 2020.
2020.
And what?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And
in the middle of the pandemic.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And what I will say, October 29th, I wanted to redefine that date in my head because that is actually the date that my brother passed away. It was 10/29/20. What was it? 1997. Excuse me.
Wow.
So now that time period, something else was birthed from a loss, as well.
And everyone gets to see this. I mean, your mom and dad, they're still around.
Yes.
Right. So I mean, they get to see and understand that, seeing what you're doing. That is amazing.
Yeah.
So talk to me about some of the services that you offer, the scholarships that are offered. How does that work? How do folks get involved in this, or perhaps even support you?
Yeah. Well, the main thing is our scholarship. So what we do as of right now. And as we grow, we will grow this scholarship as well. So as of right now, we provide a $1,000, we call it the Endless Possibilities Education Award. So what we do is we provide this award amount to single moms, and they can live anywhere within the DMV, D.C., Maryland, Virginia area. And what they do is they go on our website. All you have to do is it can be in a trade or community college or a university. And you just apply for the scholarship. So what we do is we ask you a series of questions. In addition, you have to write an essay. That essay is pretty much just a personal journal about yourself.
Sure.
Because we want to know how you became who you are.
Right.
And
the origin story.
Yeah.
Right?
And what keeps you moving.
Yeah,
So we have a committee that pretty much evaluates the scholarships, and we determine a winner. We just closed on April 30th for this season.
Okay.
So we will reach out to the recipient by mid-July as to who will get the scholarship. We do a first disbursement of $500 in August, and then we do the second disbursement of $500 in January.
That's beautiful.
So that's pretty much what we're doing now. And then we're also in the process of trying to developing workshops and things that are relevant to single moms as well. And also just activities. I think that's another thing. Sometimes, you want to get away with the kids, find something fun and safe to do. And sometimes you just need a girls' night.
Sure.
So, we want to start doing things like that as well. So right now we're in our building stage as far as that's concerned. We finally have the scholarship to a good point. We've continuously reached out to colleges and universities over the past 3 years. A lot of our women come from ECPI,
Okay.
which is awesome. I think all three.
And is that located in Virginia Beach? Is that?
That's Newport News.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So,
I was thinking Tyler Technical, I think,
or TCC,
Yeah.
probably, yeah. So a lot of, our first 3 winners have come from ECPI. We still stay in touch. They are amazing moms and women, and now they are actually giving back to the organization as well.
I was going to ask you about that. Now that's very important, right? So you just learned this. You just maybe discovered this about yourself. You just had this experience, and now is the challenge, right, to those moms to share that experience with others. Okay, so one scholarship a year, is that
as of right now? Yes,
okay.
As of right now, we're gonna start. I think this time we opened in October to kind of give like a 6-month period for individuals to be able to apply. And we're still working on our marketing and things like that. So
cool.
It's been a fun learning experience, trial and error in some spaces, but you don't know what you don't know, and you won't know until you try.
Yeah, and then, using the ability that we have these days with technology and how easy it is to collect, video or audio and share your heart, so we're hoping that we can help in a little, as we can. So the video is going to be out there, and the more people share it, the more people see it, right?
Love it.
So, okay, well, before I get to my last question, how do people find you on social media? What's the website?
Well, our website is www.womenof4d.org.
Okay.
So that is our official website. We are on Instagram, women_of_4D.
Okay.
And
excellent.
we are on Facebook, Women of 4D.
All
and
right.
we're also on Twitter. I don't think we utilize Twitter as much as we should. Oh, and we're also on TikTok now. As of maybe
Excellent.
2 weeks ago.
There you go.
Women of 4D.
TikTok.
Yes.
You need to be on TikTok.
Yes.
Well, that's great. And we'll go ahead and put all that stuff in the show notes to be available there. So last question.
Yeah.
What is it that you, Kadetra, and Women of 4D need most right now?
I would say what we need most are contributions to be able to expand our program, and also be able to, we have an operating plan in place as to various things that we want to do, because the women that are on the board, we do major contributions as well. So I would say that, and the other is volunteer recruitment. We have an Adopt a Spot in Hampton, to where we go to Northampton Community Center and also Cesar Tarrant Middle School, and we clean up at least once a month around that area. So mobilizing volunteers to assist in that effort, because it's a large perimeter, we would say. So that's pretty cool right now that we get a chance to do that. So I would say those are our 2 major things, and then just spreading the word, and then just awareness as well, because one other thing, that I want to add is that our board decided about a month ago that we also now want to start going into high schools and offering this opportunity to college-bound single mothers.
Okay.
As well, because we think that one thing that we're noticing is that we get a lot of older women as well. But, like I said, my daughter helped me grow, and, I grew with her. So this also is an opportunity to reach back to, our young moms and pretty much help nurture them along the way, because the journey is not easy.
Right.
And everybody has a different story.
And being able to reassure them that they're not alone. I mean, that's a big part of what you do. And
give them hope.
Right.
Resiliency is detrimental.
Being able to say to a young lady who, is in a situation like that and perhaps doesn't have the support, that 1, you're not alone, and 2, in Jesus, God is not mad at you.
I know. Yeah.
I
love it,
because a lot of us beat ourselves up over mistakes we make. But yeah, that's wonderful. Kadetra, so wonderful to meet you. Great to be able to hear your story, share your story, and look forward to seeing what God does with the next 3 years and beyond.
Yes, thank you.
Very cool. You're welcome.
You.
Thanks for being on the show.
All right. Thanks for having me.